Hi guys, so again I'm going to start with a mystical shaman oracle, and this one is number 54 with the sweat lodge. The essence says the sweat lodge represents the womb of Mother Earth. Volcanic stones are heated in a fire outside, then brought into the lodge and placed in a shallow hole in the center. Participants sit in complete darkness in the red hot stones to sweat away old habits and beliefs and heal disease. When you return humbly to the womb of Mother, you are offered second chances. This is a time of journey inward into the dark and hidden places of your soul to reconnect with the ancient earth wisdom. You can also create a sacred and intimate space in the dark by lighting a candle. Observe what emerges and, without judging it, invite it to bring you its gifts. You are being offered an opportunity to shed and heal from the aspects of your life you have outgrown. Do not worry that you will be consumed by the process. So I feel like with that card, what it's saying is to really take some time to tap in, right? However you do that, however you reach that inner space of yourself, whether you meditate. Some people, I know people that work out to kind of get into that meditative state. Take a warm bath, whatever it is, where you can kind of come back to your core self. And I feel like that's what this is talking about. And so our first column, this is going to be who this message is for. And we have the King of Wands and we have the Queen of Cups. To me, this represents somebody who is a very balanced leader in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's being actively projecting that, or just in your essence, or the things that you do, the things that you represent. Because the King of Wands is somebody who is a very powerful and driven and spiritual leader. And this is somebody who, stands up for what they believe in. They say how they feel, and they do it passionately. There's a lot of magic in him. And the same with the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is somebody who is very intuitive and psychic, and this is somebody who is really watery and emotionally empathetic. But since you're balancing that with the King of Wands, I feel like you're not overly one way or another. Either way, this is somebody who's definitely in tune with their inner spiritual self. And so my second column, I wanted that to be, what the situation is, what this whole thing is about. So we have the Page of Swords and we have the Star. So I feel like this is somebody who is bringing a message of hope. I mean, that's the first thing that I got, that this is a messenger. So whoever you are, whether that be a group of us, maybe this is collective, but either way, this is somebody who is balanced spiritually and driven and very empathetic and understanding what that means, right? And how to project it. And with the Page of Swords, we're speaking that truth. We're speaking that truth, and we're giving that sense of hope and wonder that comes with the Star, right? We're expressing that. And I feel like that's what this is saying, is somebody is out there either living their truth or saying something, doing something, and spreading that in a way that kind of collectively creates hope and wonder and understanding in the watery area that we need so much today, I feel. And in my third column, this is kind of like our support system, what we have as assets, what we have around us, and we have two very collective happiness cards. So I feel like with the Three of Cups and the Four of Wands, this is saying that somebody has the backup of good people around them, whether that be family that you're supported by, whether that be people you're supported by. But it also, I feel like this could also be your guides. This could also be something like you're getting downloads from your guides, or you're feeling super supported in this action to be this leader from your guides. That could be another thing with the Page of Swords and the Star. This could be understanding that you're being guided. You're getting messages, whether that you feel them or maybe however you get that understanding. I feel like somebody's getting that right now. And with the Three of Cups and the Four of Wands, I feel like the information that you're getting is very supportive and celebratory. So whether you have very supportive family or supportive friends around you, or just the environment that you're in, you're able to see the good in that, because sometimes we're not always in the greatest of situations, but if you're able to kind of pick out the goodness and understanding, and see things how they are in that way, a lot of times that's to your advantage, and doing that kind of emphasizes that for other people. So maybe in this way you're kind of a guide for somebody. That could be it. I don't know why I just thought of that, but that's a thought. And then we have the Tower and the King of Pentacles in, the next steps or advice column. That's what I'm using this one for. And I feel like this is saying, making sure that you kind of take your time and slow down a little bit, because there's a lot of message that I got today about that for me personally, about being active and going forth, but also remembering to kind of don't go blindly, just kind of go with the flow and in a very grounded manner. So I feel like with a tower, because a lot of times what happens when we have a tower, right? It's a sudden thing that kind of blasts away the foundation so we can restart. And I feel like this is somebody, especially with all this good stuff that we have going on right here, I feel like this is somebody who has begun to build their foundation in a stable and caring way. And this is somebody who, like the King of Pentacles, knows how to give and knows how to receive, and does it in a responsible way where we're not taken advantage of, but we're also kind of teaching others in the same way. So I feel like this is something that we've learned along the way. Maybe in the past, we might not have been so stable. So maybe there had to be a tower that kind of taught us how to be stable, or how to kind of go in that direction. Because sometimes, even though we learn those lessons, it's not like poof, all of a sudden you're perfect and everything's great. With that angel, that crystal angel oracle card over there, kind of just proves my point. But yeah, I feel like somebody is really taking the steps to secure their foundation, whether that be energetically or emotionally or financially, or just in the 3D, as they say. Because that's what it feels like with the Tower and the King of Pentacles. And so I pulled a Moonology oracle, and we have South Node with Don't Let Your Past Hold You Back. So again, with the Sweat Lodge, talking about releasing those impurities and getting back to your core, and finding that inner sanctuary, the mother's womb, having that safety of the releasing all the negative and the toxicity of things that in the past that maybe kind of did hold us back. And I think we're being asked to kind of don't look at this situation as how it would have been, or how you used to look at things, because perhaps you did have a big tower that kind of destroyed your foundation, but what you learned from that, you're past that now, you're leveling up. So whether this is for you to bring on something that will be leading others, or whether you really are a guide for somebody else, or this is your guides talking to you, I feel like what it's saying is, don't look at the negatives from the past. Think of those as stepping stones, as building blocks, as, foundation bricks, right? And I feel like that's where somebody is right now. And then in our Herbal Astrology Oracle, we have number 26 with Cordyceps, Revival. So upright, this is energy, renewal, soaring to new heights, opportunity, activation, and resurrection. This is Jupiter, Pluto, and Mars. So yeah, okay, so this is resurrection, right? After the Tower. We've been through it, you've been through it, and you're building back better, right? And then with the eagle, that's what the eagle does. It's not the phoenix, but it's like the phoenix. This is something that, they're soaring higher, right? My favorite mystical shaman oracle is the eagle, where it says, you're touching elbows with spirit when you're flying, or you're touching wings with spirit. Maybe elbows, I don't know. But so that's Jupiter is expansion, and we have Mars and we have Pluto. So this is, expansion through, explosive action through those steps. So it's so Tower, it ain't even funny. The star, really, that's what it makes me feel like. So I feel like this is something that, maybe you're an Aquarius, you have Aquarius in your chart, it made me think of that. But this is just somebody who has, really taken the things that you've gotten in your life, and you are at a very pivotal point. I feel like whoever you are, you're at this point where the things that had bothered you before don't bother you, because you know that it is possible. That possibility is so much more than you could have ever thought of. You know, just knowing that things are possible is such a powerful thing. And I think that that's what can move a lot of things in people. You know, when you think that everything is not possible, and trust me, I've been there, and you think that, oh, this can't happen, it's impossible, I can't do this, I'm not able to do that, or that's not meant for me, then all you do is put yourself in that mindset, right? You don't have that focus, because why bother? You're putting yourself in that negative feeling of dread, and you know, everything's going to bring something terrible. But when you put yourself into hope and possibility, and that the next step brings you further to your goal, and you see things along the way that, you know, in a different mindset and a different perspective, to where you kind of understand things in a better light. I feel like that's where somebody is right now, whether collectively or personally. And then our last card is a Crystal Angel Oracle, and we have Appetite. And it says progress, not perfection. Don't compare yourself to others or judge yourself. Instead, focus on how far you've come and all that you've learned. And that just sums it up right there. So I hope this meant something to somebody today, and I will talk to you guys later.